and welcome back to the cottage. Today I'm excited to take you on a tour of our newly refreshed minimalist master bedroom, which is all dressed up for spring. We moved into our custom-built cottage in 2020 and have spent the last 3 years adding in our own personality and decor style. Now, being really intentional and thoughtful about what we bring into our home means that projects like this can take quite a long time, which is totally okay with us. We actually prefer this slow and mindful approach. I have shared glimpses of our bedroom through various videos here on this channel, and I've never really been ashamed of it, but I always knew that it wasn't quite as polished as I wanted it to be. At only 10 feet by 11 feet, it is a smaller room, but it has high ceilings and lots of beautiful natural daylight, and I knew that it had a lot of potential just waiting to be tapped into. This past Christmas, Craig and I decided that we would mutually gift each other the gift of refreshing our master bedroom space, making it more of a little private sanctuary for the two of us. And so since that time 5 months ago, we have been tackling various projects and making purchases in an effort to pull the space together and make it everything that we dreamed it could be. And I have to say, I am more than thrilled with how it all turned out. It is beautiful, it is comfortable, and we love it so much. And so I'm excited to give you all a tour today and share every little detail. I'm going to start with the bed linens, and I want to thank today's video sponsor, Brooklinen. I would say that in any bedroom, the bedding used becomes a major design element or decor piece in the room because the bedroom is all about the bed. That's where the focus is. And that's even more so amplified in a smaller space such as our master bedroom, where the bed just takes up a large surface area in the room. And so I wanted to be sure when choosing bedding, I chose something really high quality that was both beautiful and functional. That brought me to Brooklinen, which is the internet's most popular bedsheet company. Backed by over 100,000 5-star reviews, customers agree that these bedsheets are top of the line. As a minimalist, I like to keep only one set of bed sheets per bed in our home, which means I am ultra picky about what sheets I choose. They need to be extremely durable. They need to hold up to routine washing without pilling or fraying or ripping. They also need to be suitable for year-round comfort, meaning that they can keep us warm and toasty in those colder months of fall and winter, and comfortable and cool in the spring and summer months. The Luxe Sateen sheets have a 480 thread count and are, in my opinion, the perfect blend of cozy and crisp. The Luxe Hardcore bundle includes a fitted sheet, flat sheet, duvet cover, 2 standard pillowcases, plus 2 additional pillowcases. The Brooklinen website is so user-friendly and allows you to mix and match over 20 patterns and colors to create just the right look for your space. For our bedroom, I chose solid white for everything in our bundle besides the 2 extra pillowcases. For those, I decided to add a pop of excitement and interest with their limited edition basil color. The color is so beautiful and it's perfect for spring. One of my favorite things to do every single day is actually, honestly, to make my bed, and getting these crisp hospital corners brings me so much joy. And let me tell you, after sleeping in this new bedding, I am hooked. They are so buttery soft, they feel like high-end luxury hotel sheets, and Craig and I have both been sleeping so well. Brooklinen is actually having one of their largest sales of the year right now. Today, April 25th through May 3rd, it's their annual birthday sale, where on the Brooklinen website you can get an amazing 25% off of their products, making this the perfect time to stock up on any bedding or bath needs that you may have for your home. I'm going to have a link to the website down in my description box, and I definitely encourage you to go check it out. All right, let me point out a few other changes that we made in our space, starting with our bed. Now, we have had our mattress and box spring on just a standard frame for many years. It might surprise you to learn that we actually haven't ever really had a normal bed setup with a headboard or footboard. We've just always kind of pushed our bed up against the wall and didn't ever see a real need to get anything fancy. However, with our bedroom remodel, I wanted to have the option of placing the bed on either one of the two larger walls in the room in case I wanted to do some rearranging to freshen up the space in the future. One of the walls though has a really tall window, which doesn't really lend itself to using as a headboard or a backrest when you're sitting up in bed. That combined with not wanting to block the natural daylight or the view that comes through that window, we opted for a vintage-inspired metal bed frame. You may remember, if you've seen any of my other videos, that Craig lovingly restored a couple of true vintage bed frames for our daughter's bedroom. We love the look of these beds, and although it would have been really neat to refinish something similar for our room, we have a queen-size mattress, and most of the true vintage beds that we have been able to find are full-sized or smaller. So this beauty we found online. It is very sturdy and it was really easy for Craig to assemble. I love all of the little spindle details. They are simple, yet they're a bit ornate. And I love that we can lay in bed and still take in the view from this window of the oak trees and the pond. In order to help balance out the scale of the bed with the scale of the more narrow, tall window, and also to add in a bit more softness to our space, we opted to add some curtains. Now, you know how I feel about curtains. Daylight is, I think, my love language. I love natural daylight. I don't want to cover up any of it at all. However, this window is eastern facing, meaning that it does get very early morning sunlight, and in summer especially, that morning sunlight can be kind of intense. And so we wanted to just at least have the option of being able to close those curtains if we were sleeping in on a rare occasion, or if one of us was laying in bed sick and we want to just have a dark space. And so these curtains, I actually anticipate them being open most of the time, but again, having that option to close them if the need arises. The off-white, slightly beige color looks really nice with our walls, and the curtains have a very subtle linen texture, which is quite beautiful as well. All right, let's talk about the amazing transformation of our nightstands. I love to mix old and new items in a space, and these nightstands have sentimental value to us. They were actually part of a furniture piece, a little makeup station vanity that Craig's grandparents owned. In fact, it was the first piece of furniture that they purchased as a married couple, which I think is so sweet. Craig restored them, spending hours sanding the wooden faces and even polishing up the brass hardware. And when the years of grime were removed, the wood grain really popped out, and he gave each nightstand a new stain job and finished them with a matte wax. And I can't believe how beautiful they look now. The tone of the wood goes really well with our dresser that we have, and we use the freshly polished brass as inspiration when choosing our curtain rod and hooks, and they go so well together also. One thing I really love about these nightstands is their slimmer profile. They are narrow, they don't take up a lot of floor space, which is great in a small master bedroom like this one, yet they do have plenty of storage in them. I like to keep my alarm clock in there during the day, as well as any books I might be reading and my personal journal. I keep all that stuff tucked away, and the drawers really do help to keep any visual clutter off of the tops of the nightstands, which is a look that I love. I love seeing them completely clear besides the lamp. Now I want to mention some changes that we made to this wall, but before I can do that, I first need to rewind just a little bit. If you remember, we had these hanging lamps on the wall previously. We did like them, but we found that reaching up to turn them off was a bit cumbersome, and so eventually we opted for a remote plug-in, and that was more simple, but it also meant that we had to have a remote sitting on our nightstands, which was kind of annoying and awkward. And having the lamps mounted to the wall also meant that when we moved the bed, they wouldn't move with it. They just would be hanging out there, over there on the wall, all by themselves. So we opted to remove them and go in a different direction, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. The screws left some holes in the drywall that needed to be patched, and then I gave the entire room a fresh coat of paint. And I know I will get a lot of questions about the color, so it is Extra White from Sherwin-Williams. Back to the wall. It has a small square window which is pretty high up off of the ground, and that was done intentionally during our design process because eventually we will have a patio in our backyard, which is right out back behind this wall, and we wanted to be able to maintain privacy in our bedroom without adding curtains to that window. But I've always felt like that little window seemed off balance with the scale of the wall. It's almost like it was just floating there in a big sea of white. I asked Craig to add some detail in the form of a faux board and batten look, and we decided to make it as high as the nearby door frame to somewhat blend those two elements together. We had some scrap material that he was able to utilize, meaning that this project, besides the amount of time that Craig spent on it, was 100% free, and I love that. In my opinion, it adds just the right amount of neutral texture to that wall, and also I think it really does help to anchor that window in. Under the window, we have a spot where we will plan to display artwork on rotation. For now, we have this beautiful piece that was created by our son's class for their school gala. With the wall lamps now out of the picture, we opted for some small table lamps that we could move around easily when rearranging the room. These lamps are very neat for a couple of different reasons. Number one, they are touch sensitive, so there's no more fussing with switches or a remote to turn them on and off at night. A simple tap controls 3 different levels of brightness, which I think is really, really neat. The other feature that Craig is really excited about is the fact that they have USB charging capabilities, and those chargers are located kind of on the back of the lamp, which means that we can have our phones charging at night and then drape the cords back behind the nightstands during the day, which is again keeping with that more sleek, minimal look on our nightstand. Next, I want to talk about the rug. The rug was probably the most difficult piece for me to choose, if I'm being completely honest. I knew I wanted something neutral because, again, with a smaller room, I wanted the bed and bedding to be the true showpieces of the space, but I also wanted to add a bit of cozy texture underfoot. And it has been years since I purchased a rug, way before ordering items online was ever convenient. And I think I honestly got a bit of overwhelm looking at all the different options that were available to me, both online and in stores. There were so many different colors and textures and patterns and just a lot of things to consider. And I'm such a visual person that many times it's easier for me to make a choice when my options are right there in front of me. So I purchased actually 3 rugs and then I chose my favorite of the 3. So this is the winner of those rugs. It's beautiful. It's a natural fiber wool and jute rug that is a creamy tan color. And I think it looks amazing with our hardwood oak floors. It also feels great underfoot. So after all of that stress, all of that hassle of options and trying to find the right one, I am very pleased that I took that extra effort because this one suits the room perfectly. We didn't make any major changes to this little nook area where our dresser sits. It's another spot where we display art and other special decor pieces. Right now it is showcasing this beautiful beveled stained glass window that Craig bought for me as a gift years and years ago. And on top of our dresser is a little collection of green glassware, which goes great with those pillowcases I was talking about earlier, and a pointillism art piece that I created based off of one of our wedding photos. All right, well, I think that covers just about every single aspect in this room. That is the grand tour. I am so happy with how the space turned out. It feels like a nice little sanctuary that we can enjoy in the evening, and it just reflects our personalities so well. I want to be sure to acknowledge my husband's extremely hard work over the course of this project. He just put in so many hours, and his attention to detail. I just think he is such a great craftsman. If you think he did a great job, I would love it if you would leave a hammer emoji down in the comment section to give him a little bit of encouragement, because he honestly doesn't always feel confident in his abilities. If I have an idea that I want him to tackle, he doesn't always feel that he's going to be able to pull it off, but he's almost always willing to try, and I just appreciate that so much about him. So if you'd like to encourage him, please give him a hammer emoji down in the comment section. I also want to be sure to thank again today's video sponsor, Brooklinen. Our Brooklinen bed sheets are the most comfortable and high quality sheets that we've ever slept in, and we're enjoying them so very much. I know that you would enjoy them too, so be sure to check out their birthday sale going on today, April 25th through May 3rd, to snag 25% off any bed and bath needs that you might have for your home. They have a whole range of products that you can choose from, and you will not be disappointed. So I will leave a link to their website and have all the details about that birthday sale down in my description box as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.